Hello. You, me, my kitchen, a book. Seems like we're here often. I am currently reading Would Like to Meet. I'm 106 pages in and need to get out the deep rage that this book is making me feel, so I thought I would bring you along. An unexpected vlog, really. I was just annotating. The reason I'm not DNFing is because I'm annotating it. I started annotating it a few years ago before I realized the book was not good, and now I'm stuck doing it if I want to put it in a book box and seem mysterious to the world out there. So I'll tell you a bit about the book and catch you up to where I am while I make my tea. So this book follows Evie Summers. She is the assistant for a agent, like a writing agent, and the biggest screenwriter of the times is supposed to be writing a rom-com for them, except he's not. And also, I don't understand how this man, like, I went to film school for screenwriting, don't understand how this man, any of these men have jobs. Don't understand how Evie has not, like, rage quit yet. So, he's not writing his rom-com that he is, like, contractually supposed to write because he thinks rom-coms are stupid, which means this man actively signed a contract saying, yes, I will write this rom-com. He had the date pushed back a bunch. His manager is like, oh yeah, like, I don't want to tell him that there's a new deadline because it will stifle his creativity. Or you could grow a pair and fucking do your job that you're being paid for instead of making your assistant do it, but okay, Monty. Like, I'm sorry. If your name is Monty, I just assume you're like a weaselly little man with no backbone and hair. Like, no hair. Like, I'm sorry. This isn't helping that case. Anyways, sorry if your name is Monty and you're not like that. You're gonna have to prove it. I'm not just gonna believe it. But anyways, so the guy, his name is Ezra, which I keep forgetting because the main character calls him NOB. Number one boy child. NOB. She calls, like, in every fucking sentence that she is referring to him, he is NOB. You are 39, not 39, sorry, 29. Pretty much 39 at this point. Fucking grow up. Oh my god. And her friends all call him Knob, and it's just Knob. Like, I had to keep looking at the back of the book to remember this man's name. And sure, he is the number one boy child, which, like, just say man child. Just use words that we know. Okay, England? Stop being weird. Anyways, God, there's so much rage. Like, everyone in this book is so insufferable. I literally, I can't do it. So this guy isn't writing the script that he was paid to write. Like, there are producers who have put money into this, and the producers are now chasing down the agent, Monty, to be like, hey, where's the script we paid for? And Monty is like, it's coming. Don't worry, we're working on it. I haven't actually talked to my client because I don't want to do my job that I'm getting paid for because I have a doormat as an assistant who will do it for me. So he makes Evie go get Ezra to sign a contract saying the script will be delivered and done in 3 months. And this guy, Ezra, he's so insufferable. He's like such an asshole. While it's supposed to be a comedy, so while she's trying to be like, hey, we need you to sign this to say you'll finish the script, he starts making coffee with, like, the world's loudest machines, and it keeps interrupting her, and you're supposed to laugh, and it's like, I would kill him. Like, at one point, he throws a fucking avocado bag at her, and oh my god, what does she even say? She has this comment about how this is, like, being winded by avocados. There we go. I found myself winded by a bag of avocados, which is possibly the most middle-class thing that's ever happened to me. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? She compares his voice to a Tinder profile. What does that mean? Like, you're just saying these words, and I don't think that you're thinking them through. Also, Evie wanted to be a writer until one agent was like, you don't have what it takes. And she goes, oh, well, I guess he's right, and gives up. Like, yeah. Am I supposed to read that line and go, oh my god, that's so sad? No, I'm reading that line going, girl, you just proved his fucking point so easily. You've been stuck in this dead-end assistant job for so long that, like, you think you're the oldest assistant in London. Because I keep forgetting it's London. But, like, you're the oldest assistant in London at 29 years old. And you're not doing anything to better yourself. Like, you're a doormat. And you're in that position because you're not trying to do better. You're not trying to move on from this stupid company with this weird man-child of a boss who, in the book, literally locks himself in the women's washroom and gets stuck because he's trying to avoid the producers who have put money into this project that he is not delivering on. Like, I'm sorry, who's the villain here? It's not Sam and Max. Also, why are you bringing those sweet video game character names into this trash fest? Anyways, so Ezra was like, I can't write that script because I don't believe in romance or rom-coms. And she's like, what? But people love them. And he's like, well, I don't. Probably because he's British. I don't actually know. He's 33. And he's like, I don't. And I think they're stupid. And it's like, okay, well, then why did you agree to write a rom-com? And her thing is, oh, he has writer's block. I don't think he has writer's block. I think you think he has writer's block. And he's like, I'll play along. Because he's insufferable. Everyone is so insufferable in this book. Oh my god, I am so mad at all of them. My poor boyfriend and best friend, we have a group chat because we went on a vacation together, and I've just been spamming with photos of this book, just ranting to them. Those poor people. I don't know how they do it. But, like, so Evie is like, okay, well, to prove to you that rom-coms are realistic, in this rom-com that's unrealistic, I am going to go play out rom-com moments, so you'll have to believe in them when someone falls in love with me. And he's like, sure, bet. I will take you up on that offer. But if you don't have someone fall in love with you by the end of the 3-month contract, which means he's not going to be writing until someone falls in love with her in 3 months, which is when the deadline is, then I'll write the rom-com. Or you could just do your fucking job. Or you can tell the people, hey, it's not working out. Here's the money back. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. I'm just saying you're allowed. Like, you don't have to take this job. There was no reason for you to take this job. The first script he wrote that he won an Oscar for, which I refuse to believe this man can read, let alone write, was like a dramedy. Not a dramedy, just like a drama. And it made the main character sob. It was a romantic drama. Why is he now trying to write a rom-com? It's stupid. And I'm just grabbing some cream. But, like, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, the whole plot is lost for the fact that this man is a man-child. Even though, like, you know, there's no reason for him to be like this. He, like, I don't understand why the author thought, oh yeah, this is going to be a good idea. Because it just doesn't make sense. Not even from, like, a writer's standpoint, you know? Like, I'm not doing this because, oh, I went to film school, so I know all about writing. It's just common sense. If you don't want the job, don't take it. I'm sure this man could write another drama, because that's usually how script writing works. You don't, you know, you write one genre and then you're kind of stuck there unless you are brilliant, and then you have more control. He should be the one in control here, especially seeing how spineless his manager is. Like, there's no reason for Monty to have any power here. Not that he does, but oh my god, it's so stupid. I'm so mad. But yeah, so Evie goes and, like, spills drinks on people. She goes to a romance book club, which she doesn't read the book beforehand, and the characters in the book club kind of know this because it's obvious she didn't read it, so they're, like, talking about it. And they're like, oh yeah, did you like that scene where he was, like, sword fighting with his mom? And she was like, yeah, that was great. And then we find out the plot is like a pirate and a dragon princess, and the dragon princess has 2 cocks. It's written 2 cocks. And she was basically being like, they use code words because, you know, even though the library or bookstore they're in is closed for the night, they have to use code words to not offend the public. What fucking public? Like, it was just written that way, so we would go, oh, ha ha ha, she didn't read the book and she's talking about this man fucking his stepmom or his mom and his stepsister or his sister. I can't remember. And then the author is there that night, and she was going to flirt with him because she thought he was just a regular dude and she's supposed to make someone fall in love with her, and she's like, this is perfect. And then he has this comment where he's like, you do not know how many wands I've had to sign. My girlfriend thinks it's weird. And the implication is that he means dicks. Because of the way they were talking about, like, reproductive organs in the scene, like swashbuckling instead of fucking, or swords instead of penises, or wands instead of penises. The implication is that this man has been asked to sign people's cocks. Like, hi grandma, I know you're gonna be watching this. You're watching my tentacle porn video. Like, what? This is so, like, nobody talks like this. You do not go to a smutty romance book club and use code words. I don't care what snobby person who works at the bookstore that is allowing this restocks the shelves. She can wear headphones. The store is closed. There's no reason for her to not wear headphones. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Anyways, so the book opens, like, I haven't even gotten there. The book opens with Evie in a cafe. She's ordering orange juice because she's gonna go spill it on a man and they're gonna fall in love and it's gonna be so quirky and, like, cute. No, for some reason, the person behind the bar is like, oh, I added egg to your orange juice. The fuck? He's like, because you look hungover. Well, don't just put, like, that. First off, she didn't ask for an egg. And we will see in a few moments why that was a bad idea, because people have allergies or they have dietary restrictions and you're just assuming. And it's supposed to be like a hip kind of, I don't know the word, but, like, you know, they have a gender neutral bathroom and the staff is all, like, quirky and whatever. So why would you put egg in some, like, I'm shocked that, you know, they might be putting milk in people's drinks without permission, let alone egg. So why are you doing that? Dude who name I forget, you know? That could kill someone. And then Evie is trying to spill on this guy and she chickens out, and then she's like, hey, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna walk around and then spill on him. So she's doing that. These kids are just in the way and they're not moving, and the moms are like, we let our children make their own choices. Do you want to move out of the way, Justice? And it's supposed to be funny, but it's so insufferable. It's so insufferable. And then she spills the drink on a kid who is allergic to eggs. Just happens to be allergic to eggs. And the child starts, from what I read in reviews, because I've already been reading 1-star reviews to encourage myself to keep going, because that could be me one day. And here I am. Someone said that their kid has a severe allergy to eggs, and when the kid starts throwing up, that means that they're starting to go into anaphylactic shock, which I did not say properly. But, so the child starts throwing up and can't breathe, and Evie just hides in the bathroom instead of, like, doing anything. And we're supposed to be like, oh, haha, that, like, she thinks, oh, the kid had it coming. You almost killed that child for this stupid, I don't even know what it is, like, deal that you made with this asshole writer to try and get him to do his job that he should just be doing. Sure, you made a fake contract that he signed and you signed, being like, we'll do this rom-com thing. I'll prove that love is real and you'll do your job. He then signed the contract saying he will write a script in 3 months. You don't have to do jack shit. You could lie. You have a gay best friend. Just go to him and be like, hey, pretend to fall in love with me so I can get this dude off my back, and then we'll break up in a few months. Because the friend is encouraging this, so he better get his ass involved. I don't care if he's gay. Get him involved. Also, Evie has a roommate named Jane, and Jane is like the most sexual person, okay? They literally have this schedule where it's like, Jane can have people over here, and Evie will be out of the house. Or, like, you know, Evie's friends are coming to visit, and Evie's like, oh no, I'm not home in time, they're gonna have to deal with Jane. And Jane is just telling them about her sex life in the living room, while the guy she's fucking is in her bedroom. Like, what? This isn't funny. This is creepy. It's creepy that Jane is just like, yeah, don't use the sponge. We started in the living room, ended in the kitchen, even though, Evie has said that there is to be no sex anywhere outside of Jane's bedroom, because it is a communal space. That is fucked. But it's supposed to be a joke, and we're supposed to laugh at it. Disgusting. That's so gross. And then the dude and Jane come out of the room, and they're like, oh hey, we noticed some vegetables in the fridge, like, are you guys gonna eat that? And they're like, oh no, we got pizza. And they're like, all right, we want to use them. Just not their vegetables. They just notice vegetables, and they're like, yeah, let's fuck with them. And then Evie is like, but they're organic because they cost more, and just why are you using her vegetables to fuck, and her sink sponge to fuck? And they're like, oh, it's fine, like, that's fine, we're gonna use them. Why did we need this scene? That's so gross. That's disgusting. Like, I read that there was apparently no sexual content in this book. What the fuck is Jane then? I'm sorry, what is Jane? I'm not one to, like, kink shame if you ignore my whole tentacle porn video. What the fuck? Like, stop being such a slut. I'm sorry, I'm slut shaming her. Because you do not need to fuck in your communal living space, where you have agreed not to. And, oh my god. She's the one who suggested the horny book club, and, like, are we shocked it was so horny? No. And now, so Evie has a few friends. There's Maria, Sarah and Jeremy. Jeremy is the gay best friend, who, for some reason, Jane is determined to fuck. She's like, I'm gonna get you, and he's like, still gay, and she's like, I'm gonna get you. Like, that's weird, that's not funny. I'm not sitting here laughing, I'm sitting here going, oh my god. Have you, Rachel Winters, ever interacted with a real human being before? Because I don't think you have. Anyways, so Sarah is getting married. We don't know much about that. Apparently she's a control freak and no one actually really likes her, which really sucks. Maria, I don't know, she notices when Evie isn't quite happy, and Jeremy is the gay best friend. So that's kind of who they are, her friends. They don't live in London with Evie, so she's kind of on her own there, and they're all worried about her because she had a breakup a year ago with a guy named Rick, who they call Dickie. Dickie. Because they're all so mature and so old. Anyways, so they're encouraging her to do all of these dates, and in the scene I was just reading, Evie is trying to get like a car ride home, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll do like the road trip trope where we're going on a road trip and we fall in love. So she's trying to find a guy, and she's like, only share it to like your close friends that I need this. And then Sarah doesn't, because she's supposed to, I guess, be a villainous friend, even though they're all like going to her wedding and helping plan all of that. Like, I don't like where that's going. Also, there's this girl at a cafe that she goes to write all of her rom-com scenes at, because she's writing them in script format, so Ezra can understand them and will actually read them. It's obvious that he's going to steal them, but okay. Also, Ezra's supposed to be a love interest, but there's who I think is another love interest, and in the prologue I shipped her with him. His name is Ben. He has a daughter named Annette. Annette is hard of hearing or deaf. I don't really know, because it wasn't clear. She has hearing aids, and if she takes them out, like, she can ignore everyone, but I don't know. It's not very clear yet, but they are starting to be in it more. Annette's very into the idea that Evie is doing all of these meet cute moments. Ben is just like a grumpy guy who's sitting there reading his National Geographic, glaring at Evie and then blushing and looking away like a 12-year-old girl when she thinks about One Direction in 2010. Anyways, so they are also involved, and Ben is going to be another love interest. I wish that there were 3 people on here. I wish it indicated that there was going to be a love triangle. I hope she ends up with Ben, because so far he is not insufferable, even though there was a scene where Annette was like, I don't want to do my school play, like, the costume they made me is embarrassing, and I have to sing, and what if I get it wrong? And she's, being like, I don't know how old she is. And in a review I read, someone was like, I don't know if she's 7, 11, or 14. Like, I don't know. And like, yeah, I don't know. She's just a kid. So she's worried about it, and he's mad that she doesn't want to do it, so they're not talking to each other. And they do that thing where it's like, well, can you tell my dad that I want to drink because I'm thirsty? And he's like, well, can you tell my daughter that she needs to just get over herself? Bro, your wife is dead and your child doesn't want to do something. Like, talk to your child. Be mature. So, I don't know. Ben is only better by, like, a hair. A bird just flew into our window. That happens, like, every day. They're always fine. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like, Ben is only better by a hair. But, like, if I had to pick between him and Ezra, because I know I'm going to have to, it's Ben. Because in the prologue, I was like, dang, I wish that he was the love interest, and now he might partly be the love interest, so yeah. Anyways, that's kind of where I am. I left off with Evie and Ezra in a used bookstore. She's putting cards that say Evie, WLTMU, and Ezra's like, what does this mean? WLTM, will losers text me? I, like, literally, when he threw those avocados at her, if that was me, I would have fucking whipped that at his head. This book would have been a thriller if I was writing it. If I had to take over from that scene where he was making a coffee and being annoying, it would have been a thriller and he would have been dead. Anyways, it's supposed to be Evie would like to meet you, and it's like, look, if I found that card in a book, I would assume that you were a prostitute, and I would not contact you. And she's like, what? No creep's gonna contact me from this. You know that a creep's gonna contact her from that, because why fucking else would she be doing this? Like, that is the creepiest thing ever. Anyways, I'm gonna go keep reading, and I will update you as I go, because this is already very long. Also, something I forgot to mention is Evie wants to be an agent, because of that one time someone told her she couldn't make it as a writer, and she agreed with them to the point where she gave up that dream entirely. And, she's been stuck in this dead-end thing for years and years and years. Just being an assistant to an agent. And when this problem arose, her boss was like, oh, well, if we don't get this script, our whole company is going under. And there goes that promotion I was going to give you. And she's literally like, promotion? He never mentioned that. Are you this fucking stupid? He's obviously just trying to get you to do his job. There's no promotion. There's not going to be a promotion, you stupid slut. Like, I'm sorry, to quote American Horror Story, like, there's not going to be a promotion. Are you really that stupid? And so she, like, that's part of the reason why she's doing all of this for this guy, but it's like, hey, you got him to sign the contract. Find some guy, fake date him. Like, I hate fake dating romances. I'm sorry, I can't stand them right now. Maybe that will change, but right now, Fake date. I would rather be reading fake dating. I would rather be reading After, like, all of them in one sitting, than this book. Okay? I would rather date Hardin Scott for like 2 days than read this book. Do you know how bad that is? But I started annotating it, so I can't give up now. But like, look, the pages are just, they're full of me just yelling at these characters because they're so stupid. But like, there is no promotion. Evie, why would there be a promotion now if there hasn't been for the past, like, I don't know, decade? I forget how long she's been there. But like, are you really that stupid? Like, I'm sorry, please go work at a Tesco's or something. Are those in the UK? I don't know. I feel like that's where you should be. You know? We're still in the scene where they're putting books, like the name tag thing in books, and she's like, you know, maybe I'll just tell Monty that you don't have pages and that you're not writing, and we'll tell the producers and they'll take your money away. And he's like, well, actually, I have an idea, and I am writing. And she's like, really? Okay, I'll stall Monty. Like, I'll make something up so he doesn't demand to see the pages. Why are you falling for this? This man has been given so many fucking deadlines to write this fucking script. I had writer's block during film school. I wrote a script in a month, okay? With writer's block. Literally, it took me like 5 nights to write that script, because the day before I had to hand in my pages, I would go, okay, I need to write them now. I have no choice. And I would do it. He has been given so many opportunities to push this date back. And you're falling for this? You believe him? Even though he's been so, like, oh, like, I haven't been writing because rom-coms are stupid. Like, why do you suddenly believe him? This is, oh my god. What if I just read the after books for the rest of my life? I think that would be preferable. I think this book is worse. Folks, it's gotten worse. So the shop owner of the bookstore chases them out because they're not supposed to be leaving flyers in the books. And then that's when he's like, oh yeah, I am actually writing. And then he's like, oh, do you want to go for coffee? And she's supposed to go to Annette's play because Annette invited her to the play. And don't forget, that's the girl from the cafe who is playing Tinkerbell in a Tinkerbell Spice Girl, not Tinkerbell, Peter Pan Spice Girl mashup play. Anyways, she's like, oh no, I can't go to the play because I need to go talk to this guy about a script. No, you don't. It's not your fucking job. Guess what? It's not your job. It's really not. You don't have to be doing any of this, actually. It's not your job. You're not being paid for this. It's your manager's job, not yours. I hope that her name's not Evie, falls in a hole and dies. I hope she falls in a well and no one helps her out. I hope she dies, because you're picking this asshole over that sweet little girl. What am I touching that is moving that? Sorry, I am still getting used to this camera. You're picking the one non-insufferable person and you're fucking them over for this guy. Like, I can't even ship them. I can't even pretend. You know what? With Hardin and Tessa from After, sure. They're both toxic. I would rather be on a date with them than, like, oh my god, this book's so bad. It's so bad. I think I hate this book more than I hate After. And you guys have seen my 2.5 hour rant review, so you know that's saying something. Oh my god. Like, you are really, like, you're just... If she doesn't... I haven't finished the page, so I don't actually know if she goes for coffee or not, but she's like, oh no, like, maybe they'll forgive me. Like, she's considering not going just for this asshole. It's not your job, Evie. Tell Monty to get his dick out of his ass and to do what he's being paid to do, because you're not getting a raise for this. Like, he's not paying you more to be doing all of this. You're just doing it because you're stupid. No wonder you are not an agent yet. Like, why would he make you an agent when he can make you do anything else for no pay, no raise, nothing? Like, you're not going to be an agent if you keep acting like this. Okay, good news, Evie does go to the play. Also, it's not every chapter. Every few chapters starts with a thing like that. It's like a scene heading as you would find in a script. And since I went to film school, I don't want to be like, I went to film school, so I know best. But that would not fly in the industry, even if you're like an industry professional who can do whatever the fuck they want with their script. Like, I'm sorry. That's not how you do it. You do interior or exterior, so int or ext, location, and then day or night. Sometimes, if it's very important for the script, you will put sunrise or sunset or something like that to indicate that, you know, the lighting should be this way. You are not putting the date, the exact time, and where it is. Like, you know, you're not putting this much detail. Like, I'm sorry, it is annoying me. This is really annoying me. I hate this book. I'm sorry, I hate it. So at the school play, some random lady comes up to Ben and is like, oh, I thought you were, like, still the photographer who's gonna be taking photos of all of these events. And he's like, oh no, like, I work for the council now. I'm no longer a photographer. And Evie's like, I wonder what made him give that up. Maybe the fact that he just told you his wife died 3 years ago and he's now a single dad. Maybe the context clues aren't even clues. Like, you don't have to be a detective to put together why he gave that up. You don't have to be smart about it. It's very obvious, Evie. You literally wanted to be a writer. Think about it. Why would you, as a writer, have this guy give up his photography passion? Or, sorry, maybe, maybe someone just told him he didn't have what it takes and he gave up his lifelong dream. Like you did. And now he's a council member. Maybe that's what happened. I literally, like, don't care. She's with Ben, and I thought I'd be excited because, like, I shipped them in the prologue. Don't even give a fuck. Because I hate Evie so much. Ben deserves better. I hope Ben finds a nice lady somewhere on the street and they fall in love and have a meet cute, and that he never sees Evie again. You know how I said I liked Annette, the child? She's now trying to set her dad Ben up with Evie. And now I don't like her, because I don't like Evie, and I don't want Evie to be her stepmom. So, there goes the last character I cared about. So, she is trying to do that road trip rom-com thing, and the guy is like a misogynistic asshole who's drinking while driving. And then she switches seats with him, finds out that he's been drinking. He tries to kiss her before they switch seats. And she's like, why would you do that? Like, you did not ask for my consent, which, like, very fair. And he's like, well, I don't know, you were talking about how it's kissing weather. So I thought that meant you wanted me to kiss you. Did you not, like, when you kissed him and his tongue was in your mouth, did you not taste the vodka? Like, he's been drinking this whole time. Did you not taste it? Anyways, then his car's check engine light goes on, and then the engine just bursts into flames. And then Ezra just happens to be on the road behind them and is like, I'll drive you guys. And this whole time, Ezra's been talking about, like, this hot brunette. It's his dog. He's talking about his fucking dog. Hoping that, Evie would think that he's cheating on his girlfriend. And here's the thing, if I didn't hate this book and let's say I liked this book, I would be so confused because Ezra is not a love interest. Ben doesn't really seem like a love interest. Like, neither of the two guys in the love triangle seem like they should be in there. Because they're, like, Ben just kind of sits there grumpily, and Ezra is the most insufferable fucker on this planet. Male insufferable fucker on this planet, because Evie is, like, way up there. Anyways, so I guess now Ezra is going to be driving Evie and her car friend to their houses. There was also this line, because, like, you know, the car is on fire, so the EMTs, like, the fire department, police are there, and this woman is like, one of the police officers is like, oh, like, is that your boyfriend? And Evie's like, oh, I can't tell her that I went on a road trip with this guy to try and make him fall in love with me so a screenwriter would do his job. Just say it's a fucking rideshare. Good lord. Like, what is wrong with you? Your friend, it's literally a rideshare that your friend set up. That's all you don't even have to say that. You just go, oh no, we're just going the same way. Like, this is a normal thing for, like, people to drive together. There's probably apps and message boards to meet people, Facebook pages to meet people for this exact thing. why do you have to make everything so complicated? Like, no wonder you're not a fucking agent. Good God. Okay, is that filming this time? I just had a whole rant and it was not filming, and then my candle went out. So let's relight you. So I was filming and then I started making a soup, so I stopped, and then my camera died anyways, so it didn't matter what I did. I had to charge it. I have 2 batteries. Don't know where the second one went, but that's fine. So, I'm about 100 pages off, like, away from where I left you. It's not getting better. Ezra delivered Evie to her mom's house, and she is now babysitting his dog for Christmas. The dog is vegan, and she's like, your dog ate a turkey, in an email to him. And then she like lists all of these meats that the dog keeps eating, and this man does not respond. Like, if your dog is vegan and he's suddenly eating a bunch of meat, which, like, first off, I'm sorry, don't force human concepts like veganism onto animals. They don't understand that. Otters don't understand otter-free zones, Ronald Reagan. And also, they don't understand capitalism. So, like, they're animals. They don't, these are all human concepts. I'm reading a book about otters, in case you can't tell. Anyways, so she's, dealing with the dog, and she's sending him a bunch of emails being like, hey, like, the whole chapter was just emails. It was beautiful. I read it so fast. She's like, hey, don't forget about your writing, like, your job. Also, your dog keeps eating meat. And also, here's him in a funny costume. My mom loves your dog. And it's whatever. One day, she calls him, New Year's Eve. She's out with her friends, and she's focused on this guy. And her friends, you can tell, are over it. I'm over it. I'm so fucking over this girl thinking about Ezra. So, her friends are like, can you stop, like, talking about him and whatever. And she's also, Evie is also getting a lot of random text messages from creepy men who found her calling card in books, and they're like, do you want to suck my candy cane? Because that's the only logical conclusion to that, Evie. Why are you shocked? Why do you think perverts don't read books? Like, use your fucking, like, you have a brain. God gave you a brain. Use it. Just a little. I know it's hard, but just, this is why you're not an agent. I'm happy your dad's dead. He doesn't have to see what a disappointment you are. Anyways, so she's like very focused on if this guy is writing his pages and why hasn't he delivered them, and he's like, well, I can't write unless you have a rom-com moment, like a meet cute, so you have to write the meet cute and send it to me. And also, like, it is so obvious that this man is just stealing her stuff. Because her whole thing is, oh, I'm writing them in script format, so it's easier for him to read. And he's saying, oh, I can't write until you send me another script format thing. Also, you should put a little more effort into your writing. I think you're pretty good. Why would you have to put effort into this, Evie? Unless he's stealing it. Because that's what he's doing. He is stealing the writing that she is sending him of her meet cute moments. She should have just been sending him fucking paragraphs. She's writing the script for him. So, anyways, then her boss on New Year's Eve calls, and this is after, like, her friends are like, can you stop, like, thinking about NOB? Like, and she still fucking calls him that. She will not stop calling him that, and I think I'm actually gonna go insane. Like, I would rather be stuck in a room with Hardin Scott for, like, the rest of my life with nothing but after books to read and eat than this. Like, I think this is my new least favorite book. Genuinely, I can't, I'm losing it. So, before, I know I want to talk about the manager thing, but I flipped to the right page for her friends being annoyed. And her friends are like, oh my god, because he just won't stop. She's like stalking his Instagram. She's so obsessed. Like, girl, you do not see your friends often. fucking hang out with him. It is New Year's Eve. Also, you are not his agent. You are your agent's assistant, yes, so you're supposed to help him out a bit. It is not your job to get this guy to write those pages. I don't care about what sham contract you signed. It is your manager's job. The manager's job. Not manager. Agent's job, sorry. It is his job to do this. It is not yours. You don't have to do jack shit. This man is taking advantage of you. All of these men are just taking advantage of you, and you're letting it happen. There's a reason you're not an agent yet, and it's because you're such a fucking doormat that, like, why would Monty get rid of you? Why would he promote you when he can make you do that thing that's coming up? I will not say it quite yet, because Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Anyways, so she's even like, am I, like, I'm not that bad, am I? When her friends are like, can you stop talking about the cockhat, which is what they call him now. And she's like, is everyone sick of me? And they're like, no, we just wish you would shut up about that guy. We love you. Why? Why do you like her? Genuinely. She's so... If I had a friend like Evie, I would fucking move. I don't care how much it would cost. I would move just to get away from her. Anyways, so then she randomly calls him drunk. We find out later she calls like 10 times before he picks up, because it's the middle of the night on New Year's Eve. And she's like, you didn't, like, I'm calling because you haven't delivered like you promised. You lied to me, because he hasn't delivered pages, even though he said he did. And he's like, you wouldn't leave me alone. What else was I supposed to do? Your fucking job that you were being paid for? I don't know. Is it rocket science? Like, holy fuck, I would love to see this man in a retail setting. I think he would have a heart attack and die. Which I would enjoy. Anyway, so she's like, deliver the pages. And he's like, no one works over Christmas. You have had over 6 months. And now you are on a tighter deadline. You should be working over Christmas. I'm sorry. If I can write a script as fast as I did during film school, while sitting on an uncomfortable stool in my kitchen, then you can do this. I was a student.
Yeah.
I had better things to be doing, like napping. You are an Oscar winner. Do your fucking job. And then she's like, I started writing again properly for you. Yeah, you know why you're writing for him? Is he's taking that and making it the script. Your meet cute moments are going to be his script, but you're writing them and he's just copying and pasting. And it's like, if I write more, he'd write too. So he can steal it. That's what he's doing. You are writing for him and he is stealing it. You are doing the job here. And then he's like, you're not even close about winning this yet. And what about your job? Because her job is on the line. If he doesn't deliver the script, they're going, like, the company is going under. Sir, what about your job? Do you think you're ever gonna work again in this industry acting like this over a fucking rom-com? And I know rom-coms are art. It's still writing. It's still tricky. I can't write a rom-com. Every time I try, they're very sad. So, like, if you can write a genuinely funny rom-com, like, hats off to you. I am impressed. But it's a rom-com. Like, you can't even bullshit one and then send it off to an editor to fix up. Like, come on, you're an Oscar winner. Just hire a ghostwriter. Nobody needs to know. And then, where is it? Monty is like, you said that you would get him to send the pages. Where are they? Why are you asking her? Ask your client, who you are being paid to deal with. Like, he is your client. She's just your assistant. And then, I don't even know what happens. Like, the next day, she gets a call from her boss, and he's like, she's worried that Ezra told him about their deal, where if she finds love, Ezra will write the script, which is, like, the stupidest fucking thing in existence. That is so stupid. It's such a thin... You have to really suspend disbelief, and I can't do it. I'm sorry, that's so dumb. And she's like, oh my god, he told my manager and I'm gonna be fired. Which, like, at this point, good. Sometimes I think there are people who should, like, really get fired from their jobs. Like, genuinely, not just for the fact that, like, oh, you suck at it, but for the fact that, like, they're taking so much advantage of you Like, if you're fired, that is a saving grace. At least while you look for something new, you can collect EI. Don't know how it works in the UK, don't care. What does her manager need her for that he calls her from her vacation to come help with? He was on a date with some woman, and it is unclear as to who did it, but either the boss or the woman shit on a carpet, and he called Evie to come back from her vacation 5 hours away to clean the shit up off the carpet. If you keep doing things like this, he's never making you an agent. Because why would he? If you're so willing to clean shit up off the carpet on your Christmas vacation, why would he get rid of you? Genuine question. Like, Evie, think. Think for 5 fucking seconds. And now I have to go download all this footage because I'm about to run out of space on my camera, and we still have this much to cover. So, yay! Okay, so we are finally starting to catch up to where I am. I was looking through the pages while my footage was uploading, and we are now on to Sarah's Bachelorette. I don't remember if I mentioned any of Evie's friends. There's Sarah, Maria, and Jeremy. They all kind of exist. Yes, I did, because I mentioned the gay best friend, and that's Jeremy. Anyways, so it is Sarah's Bachelorette, or hen do, as they call it, I guess. That's a British thing. I don't know. I've been to one Bachelorette in my life. It was fun. Miles better than this one, but I would say that even if they shoved me in a dirty river and left me there overnight at the Bachelorette party I went to. So they have this whole big thing in some place. I actually don't know how to pronounce it. Shrewsbury. You probably can't read that because it's backwards, I bet. Anyways, so it's supposed to be there. Evie, you know, they've booked everything. They have all these activities planned. Evie's double checking her email for the confirmation, and guess who didn't send the final email she needed to send? That's right, it was Evie, because she's been too preoccupied with meet cutes and appeasing the world's biggest asshole. And the friend Sarah, who's getting married, is apparently very high maintenance and has, like, you know, a whole PowerPoint of what she wants her hen do to be like. So it's not too good if you're gonna piss that lady off. Why am I so white? There we go. Sorry, I opened my window because it got very dark in here suddenly, and I didn't want to turn my light on. Anyways, so she's in the cafe with Ben and Annette, and Ben is like, well, let me help you, like, we will figure something out very last minute. He's being very generous helping her. And she remembers her mom mentioned a place, like a house that some rom-com has been filmed at. And like, oh, I stayed in that cottage once and it was so beautiful. And Evie looks up the photos. It looks gorgeous, so she books it. And she's like, it's fine, like, we can still technically do everything Sarah wanted to do, but it's gonna be like small town, middle of nowhere edition, you know? Like, they were supposed to do a cooking class, not a cooking class, an art class with someone who once did art with Kim Kardashian, and it's supposed to be this big thing, but now it's just kind of small town, small English countryside town, whatever. They get to the cottage, they leave Sarah and this girl Beth, who Sarah works with, in a field to do a scavenger hunt. It's supposed to be like a maze, but it's off season, and in the off season mazes are just fields. Anyways, so Sarah also has this weird thing with Beth where she's like, I want Beth to be jealous all weekend. And when they're like, you know, leaving Sarah's house and Beth shows up, you know, she pecks her fiance on the lips, and then she sees Beth and she's like snogging him. Like, that's stupid. How old are you? If your friend is 29, 29, I'm assuming you're 29 to 30 years old. Fucking grow up, Sarah. You are getting married. Like, grow up. So anyways, they leave Sarah and Beth in a field to go drink some champagne. Or wine. I don't know. It's so stupid. But they go to the cottage, and guess what is, like, a biohazard? The cottage. There's, like, bats in the roof. There's windows are boarded up. Like, the fridge has something disgusting in it. Like, everything is just falling apart. If that was me, if I booked this place based off the photos that I saw online, because she Googled the place to be able to book it, if I saw those photos, I would call the police so fucking fast. Like, I'm sorry, she just messages her mom and she's like, when did you stay here? And her mom's like, oh, 20 years ago, it was beautiful. Okay, but here's the thing. We're supposed to be like, what? 20 years ago, her mom should have mentioned that. Ha 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 ha. That's why it's all ruined. Why are they still renting it out? If it's this much of a shithole, like, that's not up to code. Oh my god, I would call the police. Like, I'm sorry, I would call them so fast. And I would call Sarah from her field to be like, sorry, the photos lied. And then she ends up taking photos of the place and she sends them to who she thinks is Ezra, being like, you ruined my holiday, this is what you caused. Because she's blaming him, because she's been so preoccupied with him and getting him to write that script that she couldn't send one fucking email, and she ruined the Bachelorette. So they're in this little small bar. She realizes, like, oh shit, I sent that to Ben instead of Ezra, and Ben actually did help me. So she technically, from Ben's perspective, blamed him for the shitty Bachelorette. And, you know, in the bar, Sarah is, like, about to blow up. It's called Mather's Meltdown TM, the chapter, like the trademark symbol. Yeah. And let's see, where is it? Everybody is like, Evie, like, we don't have great lives either, so what's your excuse? And, like, Evie starts to blame Ezra. She says, I didn't mean it to turn out like this, I said desperately. It's because of NOB. Evie, this is Sarah. Don't you dare pin this on that man. This is all you. You could have done this any other weekend. Why did you have to use my hen do? Which, like, hen do is such a... I'm sorry, I'm gonna be racist to the British. That's a stupid term. Anyways, so the thing is, like, Sarah is like, oh, that cottage is from that movie, that rom-com. Is this weekend just supposed to be about you having a meet cute moment? Because all of her friends know about it. And she's like, oh my god, is it that obvious? Is what obvious? Because literally the book tells us, these pages tell us that that was a second thought she had. She thought, oh, maybe I could have a meet cute moment at the bar. But this weekend's about Sarah, and the only reason I'm booking it at this cottage is because my mom mentioned it, so I know it exists. And I am out of options. So why did we have that line? It's like, did the author get amnesia every few pages? Because I swear to God, like, what's going on here? Oh my god. Anyways, so they're at this bar, and the bar doesn't like that Beth pulls out 2 giant penises, even though Sarah, like, said she didn't want any penis paraphernalia at her bachelorette party. So they go to a different bar, and they're looking for this man named Lawrence, because they were like, we'll leave if you tell us who's single in town. Because even though they were all briefly, very, very, very briefly, mad at Evie, they're now like, let's go find you Amanda Bone. So they've moved on very fast, and I think they should have hit Evie with a chair, personally. But apparently, Sarah's been in therapy, so she's not as high maintenance anymore. But also, it's her bachelorette. I'm sorry. It's her day. If she wanted to hit Evie with a chair, I would let her. If I was like Maria or Jeremy or Beth. Anyways, so... Sorry, is it... I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so now they're at a different bar. And they have found Jeremy. And... Lawrence, that's what I meant. Lawrence is a drag queen. And I'm sorry, I can suspend disbelief, okay? It is possible for me to do that. I do it for so many books that I read. I refuse to believe the bar they are in currently hosts drag events. There's no way, there's no fucking way that this place is hosting a drag event. Because they don't host Hindus. They're not hosting a drag event. But they're hosting Lawrence of Libya's famous karaoke sing-along. And Lawrence is a drag queen. So now I have to deal with reading about Evie doing karaoke. And I would rather, like, swallow a sword than do that. But it's fine. We only have this much to go. We're getting there, folks. Will I survive? Probably not. Also, I forgot to mention, while she is at her friend's bachelorette party weekend, Ezra is messaging her and he's like, chop chop, girly, where's my meet cute? I can't write until you send my meet cute. Because he's stealing them. He's stealing them. He is a grown man. I want to strangle him so bad. So Ben saves the day with the bachelorette. He somehow gets them into the place they originally wanted to go for a spa day. And like hires a driver and everything. And now fucking Monty just gave Evie like a temporary promotion to be the like Ezra's agent, because Ezra was like, if she gets distracted with anything, like, I'm not gonna be able to write the script because she's helping me so much. Which is so obvious that he's just stealing her shit. Oh my god. Monty, who's gonna clean your shit now? Like, literally. So I just read that. He's like, do I really need to spell this out? At Ezra's request, I'm handing temporary responsibility for him over to you. This does of course mean that you need to free up more of your time to spend on helping Ezra. As I'm sure I don't have to emphasize, he needs a certain amount of attention. Until his deadline, I'll be keeping an eye on your workload, and I'll even... He mumbles something. I didn't quite hear. I'll take on some of your work, which means this man's probably gonna have to wipe his own ass now. I'm sorry, this book is so stupid. Like, this isn't a rom-com. This is a horror about a poor woman who is just the douriest doormat being taken advantage of again and again and again. Like, there is nothing rom-com-y about this book besides the fact that someone has to write one. It's not, like, this is horrifying. So, Ezra's like, you have to do 2 meet cutes a week now if you want me to get this script done. Like, I'm not writing unless you do that. And she's like, okay, show me your pages. I want to know what you're writing. And he went, I'm only showing them to my agent. And Evie goes, isn't that me now? And then he's like, you know, we should go to a bar and bang. I want to be hit by a bus. Okay, so I don't actually remember where I left off with you guys, but I think it was Evie getting to be that guy's agent temporarily. Her manager, her boss, sorry, I keep saying manager. I know it's technically a manager, boss, whatever, but her boss is so stupid. He's like, I'm shocked this man knows how to answer emails. Like, with Evie out of the office, who's wiping his ass? Because I doubt he can do that either. It is really snowing outside. I can't wait to have a headache tomorrow. Whoa there, phone. Fucking chillax. Sorry, it just buzzed like 10 times for one Snapchat. Like, get some therapy. Anyways, so, Ezra is now not replying to Evie's emails at all, and she's refusing to do meet cutes, so It's not like he was writing anyways, he's just stealing her shit. And he's still not letting her read it. Not that he's replying anyways. And then Evie goes to the bar with one of the girls that she met at the, smutty book club. And they run into this guy who's like, oh yeah, like, I just broke up with my girlfriend, you should come sit with me and my friend. And who's the friend? Ben! So she kind of talks to Ben. It's kind of the first time they've talked since she called him, like, judgy for being like, oh, you're still doing meet cutes, which, like, yeah, why are you still doing this? Like, you're not getting anything out of it, really. Oh my god, like, oh my god. And, you know, it's obvious he has a crush on her for whatever reason. Like, Ben, do better. Get better standards. You have lost your wife. Like, is this really who you want to move on with? Evie? No. So, I don't know. I'm just so over Evie. I'm starting to annotate less because I just want to get this done. Like, we're getting there, folks. One thing that hasn't come up much, like, the wedding hasn't happened yet. Right now, Evie is trying on a bridesmaid dress, and, you know, her friends are like, oh, how's NOB, and how's the meet cutes, and the bride-to-be is like, isn't this supposed to be about me? Because you're supposed to be like, wow, she's kind of self-centered. So I feel like something's gonna happen where we're supposed to be like, oh, it's okay that Evie did this because her friend is so shitty. So I feel like something's gonna happen at the wedding. And I feel like that's kind of with the hen do, where, you know, Evie fucked up the whole thing, but it was easily forgiven. I feel like we as the audience were supposed to be like, well, they've said that she's high maintenance, so, you know, she wouldn't be happy anyways. Evie tried her best, but I fucking hate Evie. Like, this is this girl's day. She's the one getting married. It's supposed to be about her and not you. So, we'll see. I might read for a bit more before updating you guys. Again, just because I find that I will have more to talk about. So maybe I'll try and read like 50 pages and then come back. But I just wanted to do another quick update so I know where I am and what I've mentioned and what I haven't mentioned. So, yeah. That actually hurt that time. Ezra just catfished her, kind of, into going to a restaurant with him. He pretended to be some guy from, like, who found her number in a book. Anyways, he was like, you're not wrong about rom-coms, Red. He calls her Red. I don't know why. I'm guessing she has red hair. Maybe it was mentioned. I don't remember. Anyways, because if you were, then I wouldn't have fallen for you. And she's like, don't be cruel, Ezra. And he's like, you don't believe me. As if, like, why would she? You're such an asshole. And then he says, okay, let's start small. I'm just a boy standing in front of, and she makes him stop. And he's like, Red, I'm serious. Evie. And that's like the first time he said her name, I think. Please. Go be desperate in front of a truck. If you really love her, you will get hit by a vehicle. I do not want you here. Fuck off. Also, she's still calling him Knob. Still calling him Knob. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna be the one jumping in front of a truck. It's so stupid. So Ezra's like, admit it, you like me too. And she's like, well, I think he's attractive, but like, you know, he's still an asshole. But there are things like that I've learned about him. Like that he has a dog. And that if I'm stranded in the road next to where his car just happens to be, he'll pick me up. And then she's like, there was a small part of me that at the very least appreciated him, as maddening as he was. There was something very straightforward about Ezra Chester. What you saw was very much what you got, and it was appealing. Girl, get a grip. have you, like, are we not reading the book that you were, like, are you not experiencing the same things I'm reading about? Because what about this man is appealing? Like, what about him being so dickishly childish that you call him NOB is appealing to, well, I guess because she's childish too. Like, here's the thing. Sometimes it's like, yeah, these couples in these books are so terrible that, like, they just work because they both suck, and who else are they gonna date? But, like, I don't even want that here. I just want everyone to shut the fuck up. So they're in, like, an all-exclusive bar. Like, you have to have a special membership or something to get in. And her fucking ex is there. And the next chapter is called Dickie, because his name is Ricky and they call him Dickie. I don't know how I made it this far into the book. Genuinely. There was a part where I actually, like, I've had to walk away from this book many times. I hope that people are enjoying this video. It's probably gonna get like 100 views and stay there because it's not after related, but this book is so bad. Why is Ricky here? Like, throughout the book, we've heard mentions of him. We have not been given enough to care. Like, okay, he's an ex. He did that whole it's not me, it's not you, it's me thing when they broke up. Okay. What else? Why should we care that he's here? Like, there's been nothing else given to make this feel important enough to be added to the last, like, 100 pages of this book. There's no reason for it. It's so, like, it's just padding the runtime. We don't need that because this book should have ended on page 2. So she went to the cafe to meet up with Ben and Annette like she does every week. And then Ezra just shows up. And he is so rude. And he's like, oh, hey, Red. We didn't get to, like, put our date in the books. And Ben is like, I'm going to read my book and ignore this. But he's eavesdropping. We all know that. And she's like, there is no date. And he's like, I think there is. And now he's just, like, eating their cake, like, grabbing the coffee meant for them out of the waiter's hand and drinking it. And then getting mad that it's not, like, soy milk, non-fat espresso juice or whatever the fuck. And it's like, Kay, I see now that he's not supposed, like, I hope that the author genuinely wasn't trying to write a love triangle, and I hope it was supposed to be Ben the whole time. But, like, Evie keeps having all these little moments where she's like, oh, but maybe I could love Mr. Screenwriter. Evie, get fucked. But I don't know, it's just all so useless, and it's all so stupid. And this man, like, I hate him. He's so annoying. And he's so rude. And I hope that Annette, like, pushes him in front of a truck, because she seems like the kind to do that. Ben is no longer in my good graces, because he watched, Ezra force Evie to agree to the date. Because it was very obviously forced. Because he was not letting her say no. She kept saying no, and he kept going, let's try again. And Ben is, like, mad that she's going on this date with him. Ben! Buddy! You should have just punched him out. Like, why did you just sit there like a loser? The fuck? If that was your daughter, would you be sitting there? No. If it's, like, you obviously like this girl, so why aren't you punching out dudes for her? It's not good that I am encouraging violence. So, they are having their date. He has someone pick her up at 10 a.m. Their date is not for, like, 7 more hours. To give her a makeover. And it's, like, the whole thing. Like, they dye her hair. They put makeup on, like, cover all her freckles, make her a whole new person. She has that moment where she's looking in the mirror and she's like, wow, the Evie in the mirror does this and that. And she's talking about herself in a third person because it's, like, so amazing. Which, if you've watched my, like, magic videos or the reverse engineering Wattpad, Will and I, we owned that shit. We wrote a scene like that because it is just so prevalent in all of these books, and it's so stupid every time. Because they always go, I'm beautiful at the end of it. And she did. Anyways, so then he picks her up for the date, and she almost backs out. She's like, you are a misogynistic asshole. Like, that was your surprise? And he's like, well, we're going to a movie premiere. And she's like, ooh, I've actually never been, because I'm just a lowly assistant that no one cares about, so I'll go. And then they have this argument, and security is like, okay, like, you guys need to move along on the red carpet, like, you need to move along. And then, you know, he's like, why can't you believe that this is real for me, girl? I love you, and I keep calling you Red, and you keep calling me Knob, mentally. But, you know, like, he had this big speech, and then she's like, okay, like, I'll stay. And then he kisses her, but he only kissed her because his ex was there. And then she gets mad and storms away and trips, because of course she does. And then his ex, Monica, helps her up, and she says, come on, falling's the easy part. Show them how you get back up. And then Evie just says thank you and I'm sorry, congratulations on the film, because she's the actress in it, and leaves. And then Ezra messages her, because it shows the text he sent, and he sends like 3, and then he says, you're in luck, Red. Even though you didn't meet anyone, I have decided to finish the script. You're welcome. All I need is for you to write about our meet cute as if it ended how it should have done. That's the happily ever after, if you're still unsure. Because he's stealing her, like, he can't even fake the ending. He's stealing her meet cutes to write this script. He's just copying and pasting what she's writing. And now he can't even fake the end that he was involved in, so he could just bullshit it the way that he wants her to do it. Why would she do that for you? Like, she's probably going to, because she's a fucking doormat. Like, good God. Also, like, dude, just give it up. Just write the fucking ending. Like, I'm sorry, hire a ghostwriter. They cannot say, oh, I wrote it. You will be credited. Just hire a ghostwriter at this point for the ending. Literally, the happily ever after. That's all he has to write, and he is not doing it. I refuse to believe this man is even writing his own text messages. He probably has a ghostwriter doing that too. And then he calls her like 3 times, and then she says, no more meet cutes. I'm finally done. And now I think it's the wedding chapter, because the title is A Piece of Cake. And I don't know, weddings have cakes. And we also still haven't had the wedding chapter. Like, good God, why does this book have to keep going on? Like, I have just like about 60 pages left, and it just feels like I still have 200. Like, this February has not been a good month for me. I have not read one book that's gone above 3 stars. Like, one I gave 2.5 stars, and even that feels way too generous. And that was just because I formed an emotional attachment to it, the book, when my boyfriend was in the hospital the first time. So without that, probably would have been like 1.5 stars, gonna be honest. So this month really sucked. I think the highest I gave a book was 1.5 stars. Unfortunately I was wrong about this being a wedding chapter. Instead, she takes a vegan, gluten-free, fat-free, whatever the fuck that guy doesn't eat, Ezra doesn't eat, free cake that he got her, and she starts shoving it down the toilet, and she's flushing bits away, and she's like, this feels good, I'm getting rid of that cake he got me because it's gross and he's stupid. And then her toilet floods because she's shoving cake down it. She's flushing cake down the toilet, so it floods and it clogs, and now I have to read about this. I'm so happy. Hi, it's me, but 30 seconds later. So earlier in the book, actually right before her date, her roommate was like, hey, have you seen my vibrator that I love dearly? I can't find it. And First of all, keep that shit in your bedroom. For the love of God, Jane. You disgust me. Second of all, why is it in the plunger holder? Because that's where Evie finds it. And she picks it up, and I guess touching it turns it on. Because it starts buzzing in her hand, even though she's just touched it. And she drops it, and it falls down into the toilet. Down the U-bend. The toilet that is overflowing and not working. It's not flushing, so I don't know how that thing went down into the drains and into the pipes, but we don't need this. We don't need it. We don't need these scenes. We don't. There's no use for this. It's just gross. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna kink shame the roommate, because, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, your roommate, Evie, has asked you to just have sex in your room and to keep it in your room. Why is your sex toy in the plunger holder? That's disgusting. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry, I just thought about all the germs, like, in a bathroom, in a plunger holder. Like, do you know, like, I doubt these women clean their plungers. Oh my god. And you're putting your vibrator there? Where's the plunger? Jane? My mom didn't close my door all the way when she came in here to bug me earlier. I really hope no one's out in the hallway. Jane? Don't use the plunger for sex. Sorry, this is, like, so close to my face. I don't want to sit up every time I'm filming. So she texts her friends to be like, oh my god, what do I do? And they're like, call a plumber. And she's like, I don't want to have to explain to a plumber why there's cake and a vibrator in my toilet. And they're like, okay, call Ben. And Evie is like, well, I guess I could call Ben. What's more embarrassing? Calling a plumber who you are never going to see again to help deal with this, or calling Ben? The main love interest at this point. Like, are we serious? Are you serious, Miss Rachel Winters? Is that your name? Yeah, Rachel Winters? Babes? The fuck are you doing? This is the stupidest way to get two people together. Oh my god. I don't want to think about toilets. Oh. Like, I feel nauseous. I hate it, like, sorry, the smell of toilet, like, just being in a bathroom, makes me nauseous. So, this is disgusting. This is, ugh. So, we just found out that Monty is the one that told Evie that she doesn't have what it takes to be a writer. Bitch, why are you fucking working under this man if he ruined your whole life dream of being a writer? Also, good lord, it is snowing outside a lot. Anyways, why have you been his assistant for this long? If, like, he's the guy who ruined your lifelong dream. That's so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, that's so stupid. Also, he is like, I can tell... Right, this is the more important part. He's he's like, I can tell that you're the one who's been writing this script with Ezra. He's not quite there, but Ezra has been stealing the things she's been writing and just copying and pasting them. Changing little things here and there, but this book is so stupid, but I'm almost done. Look at the snow. You can't really... Like, all of that stuff blowing by, that's just the snow. Gross. So, we're at the wedding, finally. Did I already say that? Who knows? Who cares? Ben and Annette appear because he's the photographer that Sarah originally had, broke his leg and had to cancel, so they got Ben there after some trial and error. And him and Evie are going to have like their moment, you know? It's like it's building up to it. It's the reception. Ben's been taking photos, and they're finally gonna dance, and then fucking Ezra shows up. And that's as far as I got. Ezra's just... It's literally just because he said the word, like, someone said red, and, like, that's him. Like, are you fucking kidding? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Why? What is this for? So, Ezra, sorry, I keep forgetting his name because it's never used. Ezra is like, you have to know everything I said to you. It was real. I'm sorry I didn't get things right at the premiere. I should have told you then, but I just can't deal with how I was feeling about us. The truth is, I love you, Red. Bitch, you're not even using her name. And I'm supposed to believe you love her? Also, how did he know that the wedding was where it is? Like, how did he get here? Why is he here? What, like... This is so stupid. Also, her friends don't know that they went on a date. And she even told them, like, that girl who fell at the premiere wasn't me. Because I guess the only photo that was taken and shared online of her was her with her face down. So they couldn't see when she tripped. Which is unbelievable. Because the paparazzi took so many photos of them. Or the press, or whoever the hell that was. But, like, why is he here? And Ben, of course, is like, oh, she's into him. So he's, like, backing away from her. Can you please read body language, Ben? Can you, like... It's not even... You don't even have to read the body language. You just have to think that she said no at the cafe. And he wouldn't let her say no. That's all you have to think about. That's all it is. Like... Are you stupid? So we find out that the reason he stole her script is because he was working on a secret script. And then was like, oh, I'll start sending them this idea to get them off my back. And then it just kind of spiraled, which is like, that's so stupid. He was trying to sell his secret script to, you know, get back into the scene. He had to do it under a fake name because he was supposed to be writing a rom-com, and he, I literally just read it. Like, nobody wanted the script. No one took me seriously. Me, Ezra Chester. Like, that's such a stupid name. Also, you won 1 Oscar. 1. You've written 1 movie. Why are you so shocked that people aren't taking you seriously? Like, 3 years ago, too. Like, it has been a while. So, yeah. She's starting to realize, like, oh, all of these things add up to him just pretending to be into me. But he's still trying to be like, no, I do like you. Which just, this is stupid. It's stupid. Like, oh my god. So Ben comes in while Ezra is giving his movie villain speech. And now, Ben has tackled him, and he is about to fly into the cake of the wedding, because they're at Sarah's wedding. I would literally never invite Evie anywhere again. She brings too much drama. Literally, this whole book, she's just bringing so much drama. Yeah, so he falls into the cake, but it doesn't fall right away, and then she's like, don't move, we might be able to salvage the cake. No one's eating a cake that a man's arm has been in. Like, I'm sorry. It's ruining the wedding. It's ruining my mood. This is dumb. We're almost at the finish line. Now both Ben and Ezra are fighting each other using tiers of the cake. And, there's this really funny line from Evie trying to stop them. She says, "You are grown men," as if this grown woman hasn't been incredibly childish and immature throughout this whole book. Reap what you sow. So all of her friends are like, wow, you were a really shitty friend yesterday at the wedding. And but then we found out, and we were gonna give you the silent treatment, and we were not gonna forgive you right away, but then we found out that that man stole your script and that you quit your job, so we forgive you. And, like, I don't know, just, like, you guys are allowed to be mad at her, because she has sucked throughout this whole book before either of those things happened, / she knew about one of them, so, like, I don't know. I would not have come the day after a wedding to be like, hey, we forgive you. Like, I don't know. I just don't like Evie. So I don't feel like she has earned any of... Ooh, hiccups. Sorry. I don't think she has earned any of this. It just doesn't feel like the book has written it well enough for me to be like, yeah, this makes sense that her friends, like, forgive her the next day because her mom called and went, oh, but she used to move back in with me because she doesn't have a job. Like, how expensive was rent and how poor is she? Because she was like, I can't even, like, stay there for another month while I look for a job. Like, you can't just get, like, a middle, like, an in-between job for a few months while you look for something better. Like, that's what a lot of people do, Evie. This is the stupidest thing to have teared up over, but we find out how Ben's wife died. So they were in the Alps, and he was out taking photos because he's a photographer. And she went, like, his wife Chloe went to dinner with Annette, and they were crossing the street, and just a car comes and slams into her. And that's why they stopped, like, he stopped being a photographer, because he didn't know for hours that his wife was dead, because he was taking photos. That's so sad. I hate when people are in love and then someone dies. It makes me very sad. I can't handle it. Also, it's really sad because I knew that there was some tragic reason he wasn't taking photos anymore. Jeez. And she called him a coward because he didn't, like, he loved photography but wouldn't, you know, get back into it. Like, Evie, think for 2 seconds before you speak. So, no wonder he's all offended and, like, not talking to you. But it also doesn't take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together like I just did. If I can do it, so can you, girl. So Evie has decided to go tell the producers that she's the one who wrote the script, and for some reason, Mr. Ezra is like, she's telling the truth when she's like, I wrote the script and he didn't. Now, that does not follow characterization that we've been seeing throughout this whole novel. This man should be lying his ass off right now, because he is never going to get another fucking job in this town again, and that's really pathetic. Like, it's so stupid. It's so unrealistic. Like, everything's unrealistic, and I get that it's a book, so it's not going to be realistic all the time, and you have to suspend disbelief, but, like, this man, like, vouching that, yeah, it's actually her script, don't believe it at all. I wanted her to pull out receipts, be like, here's the emails I sent with the attachments, notice the dates, notice the writing. Like, I wanted her to have to work for this. I did not want it just handed to her. So Evie gets her happy moment. She is now officially a writer and an agent. She only has one client, herself. So the book ends with Ben doing a grand gesture and apologizing to her, even though she should have apologized to him. Anyways, I will be doing a longer conclusion to the book tomorrow. I have to get all this footage off because I do not have enough space on my camera. And then, yeah, I'll do my final thoughts and you guys will get to see this video. So, yay. Okay, hello. I have slept on it. I have set up a cute little background critter. I have a tomato, I have a patch, and I have this book. Let's talk about my final thoughts. So, this book was not good. I think I might put it in my low 5 book. Like, it is pretty far down there. I think it might be the worst book I've read. And if you've seen my after reviews, which I know I keep bringing up, then you know that that's saying a lot. It's just, you know, the thought of going back to After, it's like, oh, that's like, I know those characters. It's like going back to visit family you hate and never want to see again, but you keep doing it because, you know, they're part of you, and that's what After is to me, I guess. I still don't like it, but this, there was so much that pissed me off. First off, the unprofessionalism within the film world presented in this book was so stupid. Like, you can tell that the author did not go to film school, she doesn't know anything about scripts, because if you can't write a scene heading, just don't add them. Just, you can Google scripts. There are so many websites that, like, have scripts on them that you can look at. You can Google, how do you write a scene heading? Because you do not put, like, I get that the date and time and detailed location were added for the sake of the story. We don't need those as readers. I'm sorry. And if you're trying to, like, make it seem like it's part of the script she's been sending, no wonder Monty told her, hey, Evie, you don't have what it takes to be a writer, because that is, like, the first thing that you learn, besides, like, a beat sheet, is how to write a scene heading. You just put interior or exterior, the location, and then day or night. You don't write, like, East Dulwich, Sunday, December 2nd, ungodly hour. Like, if anything, I think that would be in the scene description if it's important for the story. Most places it's not, like most things it's not. If it's a Christmas story, then, you know, you can set up the world by talking about how it's Christmas, and then go, like, it is blank days until Christmas, but you don't put that in the scene heading. Evie, you went to film school, maybe get your money back. Evie just lets, like, I don't know, she goes to all of these events to meet other assistants and agents, and she doesn't ask, like, girl, you gotta start asking, hey, do you clean up your boss's shit? Because I can assure you that they're gonna look at you like, maybe you should call HR. Also, does she call HR ever? Doubt it. She should, because I feel like she could sue for so much money, for all the things that she had to do. Just saying. So it was very unprofessional. The screenwriter, like, I knew he didn't have writer's block. I felt that he just didn't want to write a rom-com, which, like, I understand that he kind of explains why he signed up for one, and then he, like, found a project that he wanted to work on, and it was just, like, what are you doing? You know, like, oh, I was gonna pay them back. Maybe you shouldn't live such a lavish life if you want to get out of a contract that involves giving people a lot of money back. Just saying. Like, force yourself to write the rom-com, or don't take the money. Like, during film school, I had no option of some of the things I had to write. If I had to write a spec script for TV, for a show that I did not understand, it was iZombie. I just don't get complicated plots. If I had to write an iZombie script, you can write a rom-com. You were getting paid. I was paying to do that, okay? So, I just hated Ezra. He was immature. Also, this man was 33. And I know, like, some people are just immature longer. Most people mellow out and they're, like, I guess, I don't want to say normal, but, you know, they're, like, what you would assume a normal adult is like. Like, I don't know, they kept making this point to be like, oh, he's dating someone 10 years older than him. And I feel like it should have been, he's dating someone 20 years older than him, and he should have been 23. Because there's no way that this, like, 30-year-old at the time that he wrote the script would be, like, so renowned. Like, there's no way they would be like, wow, this dude wrote a sad movie and won an Oscar, and now the whole world knows about him. I feel like if he was some sort of prodigy, like, oh, he wrote this script at, like, 17 and it got made into a movie somehow and he's, like, a prodigy, then maybe I could buy people caring about him a little more as a writer. But I just couldn't suspend my disbelief enough to be like, wow, this, like, even though he's dating a famous actress, I feel like I don't actually know enough about celebrities, but I feel like it doesn't work that way. Maybe it does. I don't know. I feel like this actress wasn't famous enough for, like, at least in how it's presented, for me to be like, oh yeah, people care that she's dating this guy enough to love him and to make him, like, a bigger name than he's supposed to be. It just, I didn't buy it that because of her, that's why he was this famous amongst people who were not in, like, a film community. And I know that, like, one scene, they go to this restaurant called The Act. It's before they go on the date when her ex shows up. And the waiters are all, like, in the corner like, oh my god, we have such a big name here. And it's Ezra. And I feel like, because it's kind of a restaurant for, like, film workers, like, there's a lot of high names in there, I feel like even then, these people know he's a dick, because they've interacted with him enough. It just doesn't make sense. There was a lot of, and I read this in a review, because last night I was reading 1- and 2-star reviews just to kind of collect my thoughts. I do that often. But someone pointed out, shit, what was it? I shouldn't have done that little aside. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Fuck. Okay. Scratch that. I don't even remember what I was saying. So the people in the restaurant... Oh no, this isn't good. I remember what I was gonna say. So there was a lot of, like, one page would say one thing, and then, like, 2 pages later, it would kind of say the opposite. So, for example, Evie being like, I will never love, Ezra, like, I'm never gonna like him. He's NOB. And then, like, 2 pages later, she's like, oh my gosh, like, I kind of, like, I'm heartbroken because our date went badly because, you know, I kind of liked him. Like, no, you didn't. You never have. But the author kept contradicting herself. That's the word I was thinking and forgot about. The author kept contradicting herself every couple of pages for things. Like, the characterization was not solid. Like, everyone kept changing. Except for maybe her friends. But also, her friends were so shitty. And she was shitty to them. And I just hope, like, when they forgave her for ruining the wedding, kinda, even though technically it wasn't her fault that those guys showed up and fought. Like, that wasn't her fault. Maybe don't just put your cake in some back room people are gonna have dramatic conversations in. But, you know, just the fact that they forgave her because she was having, like, a shitty week. Like, you guys know this. You don't know the exact details, but you know it's all been very shitty. So, I don't know. I didn't like the friend group. But, you know, the author contradicts herself a lot. And it's like, Kate, like, did anyone read this before publishing it? Because I feel like it was kind of very noticeable. Because I noticed it quite well. Oh, my feet are asleep. Okay, so anyways, that's kind of my film rant. It's also like, okay, no, I'm gonna keep on. Her manager was so, like, manager, boss, whatever. I don't know, it was weird that he was, I get that it's supposed to be, oh, you know, Evie's doing all the work and the men around her are just losers, but, you know, you're a working professional who's signed the biggest name in screenwriting, or whatever Ezra's supposed to be, and you can't, like, talk to him yourself. You can't be like, hey bud, where's the script that I have like, people are paying me to get from you and paying you to write, like, where is it? Like, he never seems to talk about it with Ezra, man to man, because he's a pathetic little weasel with no spine. See, none of the men in this book really have spines, and most of the women are just doormats. It sucks. But yeah, like, her manager just refused to do what he's being paid to do, but it's because she'll do it. And she does have a realization towards the end. It was not earned, where Evie's like, oh, like, he thinks I'm going to do this because I just always agree with him. Like, yeah, you should have come to that conclusion, like, the second he made you pick that shit up. The second he called you from your vacation to clean up shit, you should have come to this realization. It should have not been, like, you know, final pages, Evie's finally taking a stand for herself. Like, she didn't even question it when she was cleaning up the shit. She was like, yep, that's just what assistants do. I think you need to talk to more assistants. And I think you need to call the police. Because Monty should not be allowed to be around anyone, let alone, like, women and children. Just saying. Anyways, so he, like, and, you know, we're supposed to read it and be like, oh no, the big bad producers want, you know, their script that they're paying a lot of money for. I do not know what it is like to be, like, signed on to write a script. I have written for TV before, but I don't know what it's like to have a producer be like, I want you to write my rom-com. I'm gonna give you money up front. I don't know how much they give. I know writers don't make a lot. Unless, I guess, they are in higher demand and really famous. But I feel like winning one Oscar for a movie you wrote 3 years ago isn't enough to warrant that much money for a rom-com. Especially when it's a different genre. Because usually, writers kind of get stuck into, oh, you've written a drama, you're a drama writer. Like, we were kind of told during film school, like, unless you're one of the big ones, like, it will be hard to kind of switch around genres. So, I don't know why he's writing a rom-com, besides the plot needed him to, and he has to not like them. I think it would be better if he wrote a rom-com that got famous, and then was like, oh dang, like, that was just a joke, and now I have to write another one, and I actually don't believe in these. I feel like that would have actually been a little better and fixed it for me, but it's too late. It's been out since 2019, so. But yeah, so the producers are kind of seen as, like, these bad guys. They're giving a timeline, and it's stressing her out because her job's on the line, and blah, blah, blah. It's your agent. Like, it's the agent's problem, not yours, girl, if the company goes under, because he's putting all of his chickens into one Ezra-shaped basket. But, yeah, so, because it's like, oh no, they cornered the agent, and they're like, where's our script? They have put what it sounds like way too much money into this project. I am team Sam and Max kicking the shit out of Monty. Sad no one did. Anyways, let's see what else. The friends. I do not understand when one of my friends got married last summer, and another friend of mine is getting married this summer. I'm at that age where people around me are getting married, and it's really weird because were we not just in high school? Are you not still, like, you're really just there? Okay. Anyways, from what I've heard about weddings, they're very expensive. So why are you trying to force your friends to bring plus ones? And why is it only one person? Actually, now that I think about it. Jeremy, the gay best friend. First off, I didn't think about this until I read reviews, but there was this scene where people were shocked, like his friend group was shocked that he wanted a lifelong partner and not to just, like, live alone. That was kind of, yeah, that was weird in the moment, but it's weirder that in the review when they were like, it's weird that it's the gay character. Anyways, Jeremy, as I just mentioned, lives alone, doesn't have a partner. Sarah's not bugging him to bring a plus one, which, that sounds homophobic, Sarah. Second, like, I know, Maria has a partner she's been with, like a boyfriend. I don't think they're married. She's been with for, like, so long. For so long. So it's kind of a given that maybe he's invited because the friend group knows him more. But why? Why are we going, hey, Evie, where's your plus one? Why do you want your friend to bring someone to your wedding? A night that you're putting thousands of dollars into. Like, I'm sorry, one of the people I knew who got married, her dress was like $7,000. And that's like considered kind of just normal. That's insane. So you're probably, like, you're I believe Sarah would spend $7,000 to $10,000 on a dress alone. Why are you trying to spend more money for a +1? Because that you have to pay for like seats, food, whatever, alcohol. Like, you have to provide that all, and the less bodies you have, the less money you're spending, you know? So why are you trying to get your friend to bring someone so badly? Sorry, my bed is not comfortable for this. But yeah, so I didn't understand that, but I feel like I never will try to get your friend to bring a +1. It was just to add to the, oh, she's so single and what a loser, she can't find love plot. But, like, with how neurotic Sarah was about literally every part of her wedding, I refuse to believe that she's like, you need to invite someone who I've never met to my wedding. Like, in the very beginning, she was even like, oh, do I need to find you a +1? Why do you care? Sarah, this night is about you not getting Evie a boyfriend. I don't know, I didn't like, I think that's really stupid. It did not fit her characterization to be like, this event is about me, and me only. Also, let's get you a love interest. Why? What's the point of that? It's stupid. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bitch. But it makes no sense. The wedding, why, like, she invited Ben because her photographer breaks his leg and she invites Ben, and Ben is like, I can't take photos. Like, I haven't taken photos in 3 years. And my wife died 3 years ago. And Evie is like, wow, I wonder what caused him to stop taking photos. There's been no hints at all from him as to what it could have been. I'll never know. Just like, put 2 and 2 together, bitch. Please, it's so easy. 2 and 2, 4. I put it together. You want to be a writer? Like, it is the most cliche thing in writing to have a character give something up after a loved one passes away. And I know that that happens in real life, but come on, Evie. You don't have what it takes to be a writer. So he comes to take the photos, and then why does fucking Ezra show up? His thing is like, oh, I asked Monty for, like, your location. Why does Monty know where the wedding is? When I go places, I do not have to tell my work, oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to this exact location at this exact date and time. I just go, hey, I have a vacation. But I also feel like Evie, because of how shitty Monty is like, hey, I'm going to be here, nowhere near you, so please don't call to clean up your human feces. Because I'm not over that. But yeah, there's just so much in this book that I hated, and, like, nothing I liked. I didn't even like Annette. I'm sorry, I was reading all these negative reviews, and they're like, I didn't like anyone, but I loved Annette. She's just there. I don't know how old she was supposed to be. Some reviews said she was 7, others said 11, some said 14. I don't know. She could have been any of those ages. It does matter, though, to me, because, like, how old was she when her mom died? I would like to know that. And because her mom died in front of her as well. And Annette seems very well adjusted, so, like, who knows how old she was. But Annette's whole purpose was to be like, you should date my daddy. You should date Ben. And then, like, getting upset when, Ben and Evie weren't really getting together, and Evie was going on dates with NOB. Like, that was her whole character. And that's stupid. I did enjoy the scenes, because she's deaf or hard of hearing. I liked it when she would, like, take her hearing aids out if she didn't like what was going on in the cafe. That was fun. Like, when NOB shows up, oh my god, I'm calling him that too. When Ezra would show up, like, that one time he did, and he was being a dick, she, like, takes them out and pointedly slams them onto the table so he knows that, like, he's annoying her. That was the only good Annette scene. Okay, because that was funny. And then Ben. Ben is a love interest. Okay, in the prologue, I jokingly wrote, and I'll read it to you, because I said, see, the problem is, I already shipped them, but I'm not supposed to. Damn. Turns out I was right, bitch. But I then started hating them as a couple. Sure, Ben was far better than any man in this book. Maybe not Jeremy, but Jeremy, like, he had two purposes, to be gay and to be a shit starter. So, you know, kind of got to applaud him there. Anyways, Ben is, like, the tall, dark, handsome, brooding man who, you know, lost a wife, and he's still traumatized because it's only been 3 years, and he did not know for hours that she had died because he was on a mountain taking photos. That's traumatic. He's traumatized. Every time him and Evie interact, like, there's, like, a handful of dialogue. I think the most they interact is when she shoves a cake down her toilet, gets shocked that it's clogged, and then calls him to come help. But then she scares him away by being like, you take really good photos. You should take photos at my friend's wedding. And, like, it's obvious that he's not ready. And I don't know why her calling him a coward is what makes him start taking photos again. I would have been like, listen, bitch, when you lose your wife while you're, like, and you're having fun doing something you love, come talk to me. Come talk to me. Like, shut up. I don't know, it just felt really dismissive of his trauma to be like, oh, it's solved because she called him a coward. That would make me want to take photos even less. But there just wasn't a lot to Ben. Like, what can I tell you about him? His name's Ben. He has a daughter. He has a dead wife. He takes photos. That's it. Like, there was not enough of him for me to actually root for them. I wish he had been more developed. Like, everyone was just partially developed. It's like, you know, Rachel came up with the ideas, wrote them down, and the publishers were like, ooh, there we go. Here's your book. We put it together, kind of like Ezra does with Evie's scripts, which also, that was the most obvious thing that was happening, because especially when he was like, you need to write better. Like, I can tell that you're a good writer. You need to put more effort into this, and then I'll start on my pages. Evie. That was so suspicious. Like, it was so suspicious. Also, why are you not just writing, like, a short paragraph about what happened? Because she's like, oh, he's more likely to read it if I put it into professional script format while writing scene headings wrong. And she's like, yeah, this is definitely, like, for me, he's trying to get me back into writing. Like, it was so stupid. I'm sorry. You do not have what it takes to be in this industry because you're such an idiot. Oh my god. And then, when her boss is like, oh, I know that you wrote most of this because it has that feminine touch that men just can't, you know, get. Or because her fucking scene headings are wrong and nobody else does them that way but her. Maybe that, Monty. And then her boss tries to get her to, like, say, oh no, Ezra wrote it, like, I'll get a co-creator credit, maybe. And obviously that doesn't fly. And, you know, the producers love the script so much that they're like, yeah, no, we'll just give you all the money instead. And then she gets her happily ever after. But there was also this one part after Ezra and Evie go on their date where he's messaging her and he's like, I need you to write the date exactly how it happened so I will write the pages. Like, dude, that's so obvious. It's so obvious that you're stealing her shit. And she never thinks, it's weird that he's messaging me this. She never thinks, you know, he could just be doing the work if he wants to. Like, he fucked up so bad. If he loves me, like he claims, he will write those pages, which she should have said. She should have been like, if you genuinely love me, do your fucking job, you loser. But no. She was like, oh no, the script's not going to be done because I'm not writing the pages. And doesn't piece together that she's the one writing the script. Girl! And the fact that he never shows her, he's like, I will only share pages with Monty. Like, I would have stopped doing the meet cutes then and there. I would have stopped contacting this man entirely. I would have gone, hey Monty, he's yours again. You get him to do his job. But no, instead she's a pushover and everyone sucks. Her mom was in a few scenes. She, like, made Annette's dress for the school play. She fixed Evie's bridesmaid dress because for some reason, I guess it was too tight, it ripped when she, like, moved slightly. And her mom, like, does not have enough time to be doing the things that she does to these costumes and dresses. Like, I'm sorry. Are you working, like, day and night without sleep for days on end? Because that's, like, she just goes all out. It was unrealistic, but whatever. Her mom also, like, contacts her friends to be like, hey, I know she ruined your wedding, but she's been having a hard time, and she's 29, so you need to forgive her, because her prime years are far behind her, and she's never gonna make a friend again. So they're like, okay. And I don't know. I don't think it was her fault that the wedding got ruined. I just hate that she was, like, forgiven. You know? It was Ezra's fault. Also, they should have called the cops on him the second he showed up. Like, if I was Sarah and this was happening at my wedding and I was as neurotic about it as her, I would have called the police right away. Like, I'm sorry. No. I did not invite you. You're just here to cause shit. Hello? 911? Come get this bitch. I don't understand why she didn't, and I don't understand why none of her friends, like, followed her to see why Ezra was here, being like, I love you. It just, why were they hanging back? Especially Jeremy, you little shit starter. Like, you have been trying to start so much shit throughout this whole book. Like, you saw her rip her bridesmaid dress because she's not where her friends live, so it was video call. You saw her rip the dress, and you were like, hee hee, we should have her do a spin. Which would just stress Sarah out. Like, why are you not following to get the gossip? Also, I think Ben should have hit Ezra harder. Like, hit that man with a chair. Come on. Cake's gonna do nothing. Get a chair. Or that bottle of Prosecco, or whatever it is that Ezra just steals. Like, he should have, like, come on. I wanted someone bleeding. But yeah, like, Evie did fuck up the hen do, but she did not purposely fuck up the wedding. But I can see why there would be hurt feelings about what happened, because weddings are so expensive. Wedding cakes, especially one with different tiers, like, that's a lot of money that just got lost. So, I don't know. I feel bad for her in that scene because it was just the men causing problems, but also, like, her friends can be mad. Like, just because she's the main character doesn't mean they have to forgive her every 5 seconds. Also, like, the friend group is so toxic, I would not have been upset if they never talked to her again, because, like, she deserves a lot better, and they deserve a lot better, and, yeah. Let's see. Anything else that I have not covered? Oh, the hen do. Ben, like, saves the day. That's all he really does, is Ben saves the day and he doesn't really talk. And those are his characteristics. So, he just didn't feel good enough to be the main love interest. Like, there was no development there. I don't believe that Evie liked him like that. Like, there was no chemistry. There was no chemistry with anyone in this book. There was chemistry with Evie and getting hit by a chair. Sorry. There was chemistry with Ben hitting Ezra with a chair, but that never happened, so. But yeah. I don't know. It just wasn't convincing enough. The characters all sucked. And I get, like, you know, the whole plot is Evie, like, comes to realize she's worth it, and, like, you know, takes charge of her life, but it just was not written well enough for me to believe that she ever does that. I refuse, like, this woman does not have her come to Jesus moment. She does not go, oh, I'm worthy in the way it happened, you know? It should have happened when she was cleaning literal shit up off a carpet for the man who shit on it. Or maybe the boyfriend of the woman who shit on it. I'm still unclear, and I'm not going back and reading it. So, yeah, I feel like I could just keep ranting about all of the scenes that I hated more and more. But, yeah, this video is already very long. So is this the worst book I've ever read? I think so. It's definitely in my bottom 5, and I feel like it will take a lot to top it. Because I would have DNF'd if I hadn't started annotating it. I'm starting to DNF more. There's one book, what was it? Second First Impressions by the person who wrote The Hating Game, I believe. The only reason it's on my shelf is because I haven't done a big sweep to get rid of books, but like I DNF'd that like 20 pages in. I'm doing a rule where I can read to 50 pages and then DNF. Couldn't even make it there. This one also would have been a quick, not even 50-page DNF. But, alas, I wanted to have all the annotations kind of done. So when someone finds it in a book box, they can annotate it too. And then hopefully pass it along. I want to do like a traveling book thing. Anyways, none of you will really be affected by that. I hope, because I don't want you to be in my city. I'm just kidding. If you find this book, enjoy. All of that ranting. But yeah, I don't know. It also just, you're 29 calling this guy NOB in like your internal monologue. Like, fucking move on. Yeah, also like the friends called like Ben Hot Widower, and I don't know, he's obviously still traumatized by his wife's death. Like, that just felt really shitty. Especially because they call him that, like, throughout the whole thing. They're like, oh, you need to go back to Hot Widower. Just fucking call him Ben. Stop calling Ricky Dicky. Just, like, how old are you guys? I'm sorry. Grow up. It's so annoying how immature everyone in this book was. And how, like, you know, they're supposed to be old and, like, getting on with their lives. And there was even, sorry, now I'm remembering more things. When they were doing the hen do, Evie was like, I'm sorry, like, my life has just been really stressful. Like, you guys are all so put together. And her friends were like, no, we're not. And that's where Jeremy is like, I may be gay, but I want to find love that lasts, and I don't want to live alone. Maria was like, you know, me and my partner have been together forever, and we've talked about marriage, so I guess they aren't married. Like, we've talked about marriage, and we've talked about kids, and it feels like my life is just laid out for me because of what's expected, and, like, I want that too, but, you know, like, everything is just kind of planned out. You can change that. You don't have to follow that. Also, you're, like, 29 as well. Like, I don't know, I feel where I am in life, like, it feels like you're starting a little late for marriage, at least. But who knows? Like, you know, it's just, and then Sarah was like, yeah, like, I'm about to become a stepmom. Like, the man I'm marrying has kids, and I know I signed up for that, but my life is going to be different too. And, you know, they all are in different stages, similar, but different stages of life. And they're like, just because you're at a shitty job doesn't mean you're the only one, like, experiencing these things. Anyways, it was just weird that, you know, she kind of came to the realization, oh, my friends are people too. And it sucks that they all felt so, like, forgotten. Like, during any scene with them, she was preoccupied with Ezra. I don't know, she was just a shitty friend. Anyways, I think that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. It wasn't really talking about, it was just me ranting again. But, yeah, definitely not my favorite book. Definitely way down low on the list of least favorites. I think it is currently my least favorite book that I've read. Definitely my least favorite that I've read this year so far. February, not good. I read 4 books and the highest rating I gave was 2 stars, so that wasn't fun. But hopefully March will be better. I'm going to try and read books that I think I will like or I know that I will like through rereads. But yeah. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts below. If you have not read this book, let me know your new thoughts on it below. It is snowing so much. I also recently got a job, so I don't know how often I'm going to be able to just sit and read and upload, because it's kind of like a summer, like spring summer job. So I will keep trying because I am having a lot of fun doing this, and there's a lot of books I want to read this year. So hopefully you will get more content. I'm sorry if it kind of tapers out for a bit while I'm finding my footing with that. But yeah, I hope that you have a beautiful Saturday. I'm going to try and get this up on Saturday. If it's up on Friday, don't mention that. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday. Don't forget that I love you, and I hope that you're having a great time, and that I hate the snow, and that I hate this book, and free Palestine.